Hi, so this video is going to show you exactly how to clean up your mess when you're done working with clay and why you're going to clean up the way you're going to clean up and where everything goes, where you're going to put your bag when you are done with it, and how to treat the bag depending on if you are still working or if you're completely done and it needs to start drying. Okay? All right, now it's time to clean up. So first things first, please make sure that your name is carved on the back of your piece, either using a pencil or a wooden tool or something to carve your name in the back, okay? Especially when it's time to clean up and you wanna make sure that nobody steals your stuff. You'll put it in the bag, and you should also write your name on the bag in Sharpie, okay? So you'll put it in your bag, and then you're gonna decide, okay, which period am I in? If I'm in first period, it's gonna go on this first shelf, first period A day, first period B day, third A, third B, and then there's sixth period and then seventh period, okay? So all of the shelves have the different class periods labeled, and I'm giving you two options for where to put your items on the shelf, okay? So you can put it in here, all right? Or you can put it on that metal shelf over there by the kiln, okay? So then what you're gonna do after you put your piece away is you're gonna start cleaning up the project. So now it's time to clean up. This is a mess. Whenever you're done using clay, it is gonna just be messy. Like, your tools are gonna have some clay on them, and you need to get that cleaned off. If it is already dry, what you should do is just kind of flake it off like that over the trash. All right, so you're done working, and now it's time to clean up. And obviously you've made quite the mess. So what you need to do is please make sure that using a pencil or some kind of wooden tool that you are carving your name on the back, especially if your piece is done. Carve it when it is leather hard so that you don't end up poking holes through it, okay? So then when you're done, please make sure that your name is on your bag and your name is on your piece. And if your clay still needs to be worked with because it is not fully done, you didn't finish making your project, all of that, what you need to do is all right, say you have these pieces of clay that you want to save and put in your bag, but you are not going to be here for multiple days. Say it's a weekend, or say you're an A-day, B-day student and I don't see you for 3 or 4 days. This is very important that you do this. I need you to grab a paper towel, and then you are going to spray the paper towel. And then what you'll do is you will take each piece of clay and you will put it in the paper towel and you will wrap it like that. And then say you had more pieces of clay, you could put them in between there. So then now what you're gonna do is you are gonna just spray this. Do not get it super wet because it will get soggy and you will be very upset when you come back if your clay is all soggy and destroyed. So then you're gonna take your bag and you are going to set the pieces in your bag gently like that. So you'll set them there, and then your excess clay will just sit on this side, and then you will spray the inside of the bag. If there are puddles in the bag, then it will make your clay really soggy, so you don't want puddles. Do you see how it's just a nice even coat of water? And then what you'll do is you will close your bag like this, and then you will pick up your clay like a baby. Either put your clay on those shelves over there, depending on your class period, or you can put them on these shelves over here, depending on your class period, okay? So then what I'm gonna do, and since mine is ready to dry, I'm gonna pretend that I am in 7th period, okay? So I'm gonna put my piece right here, and since it's ready to dry, I'm going to leave the bag open. I am not gonna close the bag, but also I'm not going to have my piece be completely out in the open. I'm just gonna have some airflow going in. And then that way it will continue drying slowly so that it does not break. So then now you need to take your tools and you need to wash them. Okay, so a lot of the tools will have a lot of clay on them. If there is like a tool that has chunks of clay on it, which I don't really have any tools that have like big chunks of clay on it, you can take that and then just go over the trash and just kind of like flick them off, okay? And then what you'll do is you will take all of your tools and you will take them to the sink. So I'm gathering all of my tools that I used, every single one of them. And then we're gonna go to the sink. You can go to this sink right here, or you can go to that sink in the back. So then what you're gonna do is, since all of the pieces of my tools have like all the big chunks of clay off, then I'm just going to turn the sink on and turn it on low. And then I'm just going to gently wash all of the rest of the clay off of my tools. You especially want to make sure that all of the clay is off of the rolling pins, because if it dries and then the next person goes to use it, there's like a chunk of clay dried on it, then what will happen is it will put dents in their clay slab that they're trying to roll out, and that's kind of rude, because you don't want to have to, when you're working with the clay, you want to be able to like go grab all of the supplies that you need, and then you can just start. But if the supplies that you need are dirty, then you're gonna have to waste time cleaning them when the person who used them should have spent time cleaning them themselves. And the reason I want you to have the water on low is because if you have it on too high and you're cleaning these tools, water's gonna fly everywhere. And I do not want the cement to be flooded with water, because it will be a mess and it's dangerous. So then now what you're gonna do is you are gonna take all of these tools and you are gonna go put them away where they belong. And they belong over here on the supply table. So these metal ribs go in there. This little wooden tool goes in there. This wooden rib goes in here. Rubber rib goes there. This loop tool is gonna go in here. Rolling pins, small wooden tools. And then these just wooden shapes are just gonna go in here, okay? And then there's other tools for adding patterns and designs. So if you did want to use these metal tools, you would need to clean those. You can also use forks for scoring if you didn't want to use the serrated rib, or if there's no serrated ribs available. And then you are gonna bring your vinegar cup and just set it right back here. No need to dump the vinegar out, just leave it full of vinegar, because all of the classes are going to be using them, okay? So then after your paintbrush is cleaned, you'll also, and I'm gonna put the paintbrush back as well. So spray bottles are gonna be put back on the supply table as well. So this pencil also needs to go back on the supply table, and I have an extra paintbrush and I'm gonna put that on the supply table. All right, so I know that y'all are not working on the wood, but it is gonna be the same type of process. So all of these little dry pieces, if you have any, you're just gonna pick them up and you're gonna throw them away, okay? We are not going to use the brooms and dustpans because clay has silica dust in it, and if you breathe that in over a long period of time, it will make you sick. So y'all are not going to be using the clay for a long enough period of time to be making you sick, but I am in here every single day, all day, and I don't want to get sick, okay? And what we're gonna go do is we're gonna grab one of these yellow sponges, okay? Get the sponge wet. You'll squeeze out any excess water, and then you're gonna go wipe down your area. So you're gonna wipe it down with a wet sponge because you do not wanna get that silica dust in the air, okay? So it's okay, things are gonna get a little bit muddy, but as long as your sponge is not soaking wet, it will be all right. And then you can kind of dust off the extra little chunks into the trash. And then you'll want to scrub and try and get all of the clay off of the canvas. Do not get your canvas soaking wet because all of these canvases need to be used throughout the day for the next class. And if it's soaking wet and then you go and put clay on a soaking wet area, the clay is gonna stick and that next person's gonna be really upset. And you'll be really upset if that next person is you. So just think about it that way. And then if it's just doing this, go rinse your sponge. Start over with a clean sponge. Now you don't want huge chunks of clay going down that sink because it will smell really, really bad if there is a bunch of clay stuck in the sink because the clay is just going to absorb all of the germs. Okay, so you're just gonna scrub and wipe down your area. And then when your area is wiped down, you are going to rinse the sponge. You need to squeeze out all of the excess water that's in the sponge as well. And then place the sponge on the drying rack. If you have your sponges stacked up like that, they're gonna get moldy. If you leave the sponge in the sink, it's gonna get moldy. So put them on the drying rack. Over here, there's a different kind of drying rack, and I need you to please, please, please remember, you cannot stack the sponges, because if you stack the sponges, it is going to make them moldy, okay? So this is what this drying rack looks like. All right, so that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. You can put them in the comments below, or you can just ask me. So if you have any questions, let me know.